Hi guys, welcome to another 3D tutorial. In this one, I'm going to talk about textures, creating your own textures. Yesterday, I was trying to create a crisp scene using a free software called PureF. Okay, yeah. So I was trying to create this scene using Cinema 4D and Octane. Yeah. So um, I was trying to search for an online texture for crisps, but I couldn't find any that I really liked. Yeah, and so I decided to say, let me just try to create one. So I'm going to show you how I created this same texture using Photoshop, and you can use the same technique in most of your future projects. Yeah. You can do this in any editing software like GIMP, just any editing software. But for me, I'm so conversant with Photoshop, so decided to do it in Photoshop. So basically, the whole text is just an image that I found on Google. Let me see if I can bring it up. Yeah, it's just this image that I got from Google, and then I just sampled out this part of the image, just extracted this part of the image, and then I edited it, and then got my texture from there. Okay, so let's get started in Photoshop. Okay, so I'm going to create a 2K resolution image. Okay, so that is already set up there. I think let me change this to 2480, then the resolution I can bump it up to around 300 pixels. That should be okay. Then we create that. Okay, so we have our background image. Now what we can do is we can bring in our image. We'll just drag and drop it. Okay. um, okay, so it's in, it's there. Okay, so what I did is just scale this up. Okay, I want this part image, so okay, I'll just accept, then I'll zoom out a little bit. um oh, okay, let me highlight this to try to transform it. Okay, control T the keyboard, and then I'll zoom it. So I'm just zooming in. Okay, I want this part there. Yeah, I want this part to fill up most of the section. Yeah. Okay, I think something like that should be okay for now. Yeah, something like that should be okay. Let me bring it up. Yeah, so we have this nice piece there. Okay, so um I can duplicate this with Control J. Yeah, and then we can say edit. Let's rename this as our diffuse. Let's name as diffuse. Okay. Okay, so we have renamed this as our diffuse. Now what we want to do is try to get rid of these other sections. We just want this section to populate the whole lot of this texture. Yeah, so I think the easiest that we can do is we can use the clone stamp tool. Yeah, just bring it up on screen. Yeah, if you don't know how to use Photoshop, I'm really sorry. Yeah, but the process is pretty much the same in most of the software. Yeah, so I'm going to rasterize our diffuse layer. I'll raster this layer. Yeah, then I can sample out. Let me see. I'm going to sample out. Let me say here, like here. Sample this part out, and then I'll just begin cloning. Okay, just start cloning this texture around. Yeah. So I think this process works much better if you have got a high quality resolution texture, so that you don't lose much of the most of the details. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is try to to make it feel like it's one text. Yeah. So I think we have done almost everything that we need. I think this should be okay. Looks pretty much better. We put this yellowish color around. Okay. Yeah, so we have this. Let me get rid of this. Yeah, let me put somewhere there. Also get rid part of this. Yeah. So we have this base. We can use this as our diffuse. Okay. So I think let me save this as okay. Just save it as it's okay. We'll save it in my project folder. Okay, let me just delete this and let me create another one. Let me create another folder. We'll call this Crisps. Okay, and then I'll call this diffuse. Call this diffuse. I saved it as a PSD file. Okay, so I need to save it as an image, so I'll just save it as a PNG because PNG usually have high quality. Yeah. Okay, so I think it's saved. Let me try to see if I can bring it up on the screen. Okay, so yeah, so we have got the folder and we've got image. Okay, so here's our image has been saved. Now let's create our normal map. So to create our normal map, we will duplicate this same layer, Control J, duplicate that same layer, and then we'll call it normal. Let's call it normal. Yeah, normal. And I think let's bring up our move to selection 2. Sorry. So what we can do now, we will come to our filters. Okay, then come to 3D, then come to generate normal map. We generate our normal map. It's good way to generate. Okay, let's see what comes up. Okay, it really depends with what you want to really pop up. Okay, you can play around with the settings where you want it to look so blurry. If you want the details to not to look so or maybe you want the details to be so much appealing, yeah, you can just play around with these details and then just say okay, and then to just develop our normal map there for us. Just generated it. So we can also save this. Okay, let's save this as normal. Normal, and then let's change the type to PNG as well. Okay, now we can create our height or our displacement map. Okay, so what we can do is let's go back to our same diffuse, then we can make a duplicate of the diffuse, then we'll bring it up on top of the normal map. Then let's call this height. Okay, and let's go to the same process again. Let's go to filter and we come to generate bump or height. Okay, and it should generate a black and scale image for us. Okay, something like that. Then we can just play around with the details with you want the details to be seen so much, like as you can see from here. I think you can orbit, yeah, you can orbit this thing, but the latent if it is too much, you can play around with it from there. Yeah, and you can play around with these values, whatever you want to get out of it. Yeah, I think for me this is just okay, so just say okay. Yeah. So this is our height map, our height. Also save this. You can save them later on, but I think this is okay for us because this is our height. Then the final one that we are going to do is a map for roughness. Yeah, it can be used in roughness, in specular. I think it can also work in height. Yeah. Okay, so we'll duplicate the same diffuse layer. Control H. Okay, bring it up. Then we will rename this as roughness. Roughness. Yes, our roughness. Okay. So with this one, we'll use a different approach. What we do is we're going to bring up our adjustments there, and then we'll bring up, let's go to black and white or saturation, any of these two, black and white or saturation. Okay, so let's go to black and white, and then to bring up these sliders. Okay, so we want this image to have that kind of contrast where we have got so much dark and so much white. So we'll try to create so much dark, yeah, because this is what is going to control our values, our roughness values. Okay, so if you want, you can make it white or you can make it dark. Okay, so I'm just going to bring it to somewhere like so. These values, I think you can play around with them if you want, but as you can see, there's not much effect that is taking place here. Okay, so if you want, you can make it darker, lighter, and depending on what you wish to go for. So bring it to somewhere there. Okay, so we can also save this as well. Let's save this as well as roughness. And then we'll save this as PNG as well. Okay, yeah, so that's it, guys. Let me try to bring up okay, so here are our maps. Let me try to, yeah, so these are the maps that we were creating. So we created these, and we can use them in any 3D package that we want, that is Photoshop, Blender, Cinema 4D. Yeah, so that's much it, guys. I think in the next one I'll try to really show you how I put in these maps so they can work and give me the result that I wanted. Yeah, so you can use this technique in any package, like I said, and enjoy. Yeah, so see you on the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right.